Hi, good to see you. I'm Max, and in this video we will talk about whether or not stablecoins will be superior on Cardano versus Ethereum, of course. So let's first start with a clear overview of the Ethereum stablecoin ecosystem. So when you look at Ethereum, you have USDC, you have DAI, and you have Tether, right? And USDC is really great. It's very scalable. It's centralized, sadly. It works very well. They have a partnership now with Visa, which they announced last week. Um, they they're really great essentially, and they are a powerhouse in the Ethereum DeFi ecosystem. Um, Mainly because, and this brings me to DAI, so MakerDAO's stablecoin, and DAI is is great too, but it has some issues, right? The one of them being that it's the DAI governance is based on the MKR token holders. So if you own Maker tokens, you will be able to participate in governance. Problem is that the supply of the MKR tokens is really not well distributed, which leads to effectively a plutocracy. So and there's a very low participation rate in the governance votes, and sometimes what you see is that just a second, like a very short period of time before the votes ends, a whale buys a ton of MKR to vote and then sells it immediately after. And the reason why is because as an external protocol, you have direct interests, or actually there's a direct incentive to very quickly accumulate MKR, vote for the approval of your token as collateral for DAI, and immediately sell it because you don't care about MKR, and that way your token is now an approved collateral to mint DAI. And so that's one issue. A second issue is that the token economics of MKR aren't linked well with the performance of DAI. So the essentially the more DAI you create isn't necessarily, like, the growth of DAI isn't necessarily linked to the growth of the to the price performance essentially of the MKR token. And so again, you have a problem, right? Because you don't align the interests of the token holders in regards with the growth of the protocol itself. And so that's for DAI. And then of course the infamous Tether. And obviously Tether, if you don't know yet, well, Tether is quite shady. Tether has very major trust issues with the crypto community in general, and it's kind of like a black box, right? Like, you don't know what's happening necessarily in it, not really clear, not really transparent. So Tether is a big no-no, right? You don't want to use Tether. So that's it for Ethereum. So you have three stablecoins. One of them is centralized and works perfectly well. One of them is decentralized but doesn't work that perfectly. And another is centralized, works pretty well, but is very shady and you really don't want to put your hands on it. Then let's talk now about the capabilities which Cardano offers. So when you look at the capabilities which Cardano offers, you have one of the major ones is side chains. So in side chains, specifically the way Cardano does it, that's very important, because what Cardano allows you to do or actually will allow you to do once Basho is here. And Basho will enable the creation of sidechains. And what sidechains allow you to do on Cardano is you can, for example, create a centralized sidechain and transact decentralized assets on it from the main chain to the sidechain and then back to the main chain. And even if the chain is centralized, that doesn't cause any problems because the main chain is essentially firewalled. So essentially, if you were to send 5 DAI on the centralized chain, and then, as you are a centralized actor, you decide to make of that 5 DAI 10 DAI, because, why not? It's centralized, you can do it. And you want to send 10 DAI back on the main chain, it will not work. You will only be able to send 5 DAI back, because that's what you sent initially. So that's a unique capability which Cardano offers, and which you can't do on Ethereum, for example, nor on Polkadot or any other major player in the smart contracts or the network of networks ecosystem. And so that's one core advantage. And the reason why this is very important in regards with stablecoins is that this would allow the creation of a major decentralized stablecoin which could get adopted by banks, mainly because, as a bank, let's say JP Morgan, for example, well, JP Morgan could create a centralized sidechain to manage their assets, and they could still use, without any problems, the decentralized Cardano-based stablecoin. That's huge, right? That's just massive, and it offers unique capabilities. So that's the first point, right? Second point is the Oracle pools, right? On Ethereum, you will need to either use semi-centralized Oracle solutions, or you will need to go to decentralized price feeds, like, for example, Chainlink. Problem is that Chainlink costs quite a lot of money, especially as essentially the more the Chainlink network grows, the higher the price of the linked token, the more it costs you as a developer to use their price feeds. So it's the pricing as a user for Chainlink is not ideal. And so Oracle pools allow you to essentially have a direct source, direct feeds, essentially. The infrastructure is already here with the stake pool ecosystem, right? There are all these stake pools which are just waiting to generate a bit more revenue. And, well, Oracle pools are a great way of doing that. And so most stake pools will probably convert or actually expand some of their activities to become, besides stake pools, Oracle pools. I will make another video about that very soon. But either way, what matters here is that on Cardano, you will have different solutions for price feeds, and likely cheaper solutions, which are ideal for stablecoins, because you could create essentially a basket of tokens and stablecoins based on that. Libra, for example, was trying to do that in a centralized way, obviously. But initially, they were trying to essentially create a basket of fiat currencies. The US dollar, the yen, the euro, all of these things. And they were trying to create one basket of currencies and then base essentially Libra on that. And so it didn't work because the US government wasn't very happy with it. But with Cardano, we can do it, and we can do it very cheaply thanks to Oracle pools. So that's a very major second point. I think these are two major advantages for Cardano regarding the creation of stablecoins, right? As a stablecoin issuer, it's really great. Cardano is a really great platform for that, and the centralized sidechain ability and the Oracle pools offer a great set of tools and services which will essentially make it easier and more suitable as a platform for the creation of stablecoins. Now, if you like this video, please share it with your friends, neighbors, family, governments, who else? Dog, neighbor, family. If you find someone else, just share it. Like the video, follow us on Twitter and YouTube. Important. Leave a comment, and yeah, see you soon. Bye.